Listen, but I'm excited because we have gospel royalty, gospel's legend, gospel's icon. So many words that I could say when I think of this dynamic soul, so to speak. But I got Mr. Fred Hammond on the line. How you doing?
Good, man. How you doing? How you feel?
I'm well now that I got Fred Hammond on the line.
Awesome.
Hey, good
Man,
morning.
y'all got something going on up in there.
Yes.
We are so happy to be able to interview today.
Listen,
I'm happy to be here.
listen, you have been in the industry for a very, very long time. You've penned some of the nation's biggest songs. What does it feel like to be here after all of these years, and not just to be here, but to be here and still be successful?
Man, it's a blessing. You know, it is a blessing to start. It's 37 years total. I started when I was around 19 with the Winans playing the bass. And I didn't think I was, going to be here like this. I thought I'd still be playing bass with the Winans. That was my plan, But it's just it's beautiful, man, that the Lord would still see fit to use me in some kind of way. And I just love him, and I appreciate him so much.
Wow. And, I think, like you said, you never would have thought you would have made it this far. But like I said, to be withstanding and to still have #1 hits, to still have gold albums, platinum albums, I think speaks for itself. And, you've been no stranger to, especially on social media, saying that you have some recent, struggles. You made it through, a lot of stuff in your life. And I think that's prevalent in your writing. Would you say most of your life experiences have really shaped your writing down the years?
Well, you got to realize I really never got into this to be an artist. That was never my first call. When I was younger, man, I just I really felt a calling to tell people about the Lord, but I was too shy to be a preacher. I'm not good as a preacher, but I said, well, let me figure out the best effective way to tell people. And in the 11th grade, when I learned that people would listen to me sing, then I dedicated that to say, Lord, well, I'll write songs about you and tell people that Jesus loves them and died for their sins. And that was the whole reel.
Wow.
Hi, Mr. Hammond, this is Ladita. First of all, I want to say that I love you. And I'm not saying that because you're on the line. I just want to say that I really do love you and the work that you do. I want to ask you, how do you... First of all, I love that you use scripture. You use scripture in so many of your songs. And I want to know, how do you manage to take us on a hymn journey? Then in the middle of the song, you bring us to come to Jesus. And then at the end of the song, you give us a little bit of funk. How do you come up with that combination?
That's that Detroit thing right there. That's just that Motown Detroit thing. But no, really, I'm a musician first. I've always loved being a musician. That's, I just studied a lot of different musicians, and from classical to rock to R&B, funk, and I've learned that there's certain tones and sounds that people could, like, and I try to pull those things together and then put a word on top of it that'll bless people. But it's really, really just about just me putting my message to music, and then knowing what the music is. And I love all styles of music. And in church you really can't say that too much. Everybody just wants you to say, well, you like gospel only. Right. But my phone is filled with all styles of music. Now today's music, I don't know.
Right.
My son and I, we differ on what's the best style of music. Today's hip hop or yesterday's R&B, and we go back and forth because he's 18 and he don't really know. But
you got to school him.
But I'm definitely a musician at heart first.
Fred, what's going on? This is Ernest, man. How you doing?
What up, Brian?
My question is to you is, we got so many new young artists that they want to they want to be in the industry, and you've been in the industry for like over 37 years. You said, what is some of the advice that you would give? What were some of the lessons that you learned in this industry that you could share to somebody who's just stepping into the industry and want to have a long career in the gospel realm?
Well, number one, I would say, first of all, honestly realize that let it be a calling first. That if I'm going to give you the advice, I'm going to say, let it be a calling first. It's okay to have talent and say, well, I want to sing gospel only. That's great because, there are people that love to hear people sing. But, man, great singers these days are now, by the handful. There's so many young people that can sing, and there's a bunch of little Kimberells running around the world now. And they're just amazing, but God is looking for that special gift. Mm-hmm. He's looking for that special heart. That's what he said. He's looking for that special heart. And you have to know what that is. It's filled with humility. It's filled with being gracious. It's not a judgmental heart. It's a Jesus type of heart that wants to tell people in this day, that, man, I just have a love for people. And I would say that's what you gotta have. You gotta do. Now that don't mean you're gonna have pajama parties with everybody.
Come on.
And it just simply means that you have a heart to make sure that the gospel is told, that you want to see people blessed and set free, and also realize that never believe your own cartoon strip. That's another one. The Lord have blessed me. Okay, cool. You gave me a lot of accolades, and that was great at the beginning. I was like, well, who is he talking about? But the reality of it is this: is you can understand the blessing that God blessed you with without demanding it. There's a level of humility that you can walk in, and God will bless the humble, and that's what He promised in His Word. So that's what I would say, man. And then on top of it, know your craft. Pay attention to what's going on in social media. Figure out now, because things are a lot different. Figure out how to get your stuff out there and how to get on, events. You may go a long time without getting on special events, without getting, financially, reimbursed or financially paid or compensated. But just continue to do it until God opens that door. If you stay faithful, He will open that door, and you will probably be able to make a living at it.
And I think that's so true. Listen, I know you got tons of interviews. You got your tour starting. We're about to talk about that and new music. So I can't keep you. I know you got a lot to do. I just got a couple more questions for you, and then we're gonna let you go. People are blowing up. They want me to ask you a million questions, and I told them I don't have time. But y'all, real quick, we gotta keep it moving.
Yes, you've been in the game a very long time. Allison here. How are you doing? What is your most memorable collaboration that you've done?
Oh man. Memorable, because I loved working with my mentor, Marvin Winans, Pastor Marvin Winans.
Yes.
I love working with him on Something About Love album. Brian McKnight, myself, and him, Lord, We Need Your Love. And that was a very special time, because Pastor Marvin is the guy that taught me the eloquence of the pen. He gave me some structural advice and taught me how to write lyrics and how you say them and how you phrase them. And he was very important to me. And that was a very, very great collaboration. If I could just mention only one of them.
Okay. Fred, this is Terry, a veteran in the room as well. I just want to talk about you being a bass player and the music lessons. For the young bass players that are out there that are listening, what advice would you give to them to keep going and to try to get into the field of music if they are just solely a bass player, a musician?
Well, back in the day, you couldn't become a studio player unless you knew how to read. Mm-hmm. Back in the day, that was always my challenge. Is just be honest with you, I hated music theory. I hated I hated reading and reading music. I hated it, man. I would get it and I would study it and I have to play it and I was, oh man, I'm playing somebody else's stuff, but I hear this, but I'm seeing this, and oh God, just stuff. But church helped me. Playing in church gave me the ear.
Yeah.
It taught me. If you're just starting out, develop your ear. Go get your CD and put it on. Back in the day, I would put on everybody from James Cleveland to Earth, Wind and Fire, to Frank Beverly, to Ohio Players, to Andre Crouch, to Brenda Carlin, Shirley, BCS. I was going way back, Brooklyn Community Choir, I was going back to radio, everybody, and I would play commercials on TV. I would sit with my bass, and I would play the commercials in between Fred Sanford and Son. And I would try to learn a quick ear, develop your ear. And you can do that in church by getting with the musicians, learning how to do it, and get in there and play. And that's what I would say. Get in there and grind it out, because now anybody can play. You don't need to have a degree in music to go in the studio and play. Just learn and practice your craft, practice all the time, and you'll be great.
Listen, I got to ask you this. Somebody asked, one of our viewers, this good question. United Tenors, we know that was the project with you and the 3 other guys. Yeah. Will there ever be a reunion of that, another album? And how do you feel when other artists do your songs?
Oh, the Tenors, that was a great moment, but it was really a specialty album. Will there be ever another one? Oh, I'm not sure, but it was just a moment. And, we just loved it, and we went out and did a little tour and hung out. But the thing with that one is each one of those brothers have a successful music career. So it's hard to bring people together to say, hey, guys, let's do this. And but you never know. We may get back out and tour again and do something here and there. And I love when I hear other people do my music and my songs. It's a blessing, but it's more of a blessing that they're doing it for the reason that they're doing it, that they believe that it's a blessing to them. Recently, Michael English did No Weapon, and I really appreciate him for doing that. When I heard Jamie Foxx do it on The Tonight Show, I thought it was a blessing. As recently as Chance the Rapper just did a remix of Let the Praise Begin, and his is called Are You Ready for Your Blessing? And he just took the hook and rapped over top of it. So it's a blessing, man, that it's affected some people, and that's what I love.
Wow. Well, listen, Festival of Praise, you're starting it this weekend. It made it actually to our city last year. We enjoyed it.
Yes.
One thing that we really enjoyed about it, though, was you had all of the background. I mean, there was no background. Everybody sung for each other. Where did you get that ideal from, and how do you pick your artists?
Well, to be honest with you, it was something I saw from Bill Gaither years and years and years ago. That he had all these people sitting on the stage and they would just sing these old time songs. And for years I said, I got to figure out how to do that. I said, I think that is so cool, and I got to figure out how to do that. And when we came up with this idea for the tour, it was me and Donnie the first year. And he and I stayed on stage the whole time together, singing each other's songs. Last year I just added more people. This year is more the same, but this year it's more of a theatric twist to it. We got a theatric twist called The Game of Life, and we brought Earthquake the comedian, Regina Bell, Terrence Fox-Beard, and Hezekiah Walker, Bishop Walker, and Israel Houghton, and Casey J. Wow. And basically what we do is we take Earthquake on a journey. He's got questions about, this whole church thing. He said, I ain't no church comedian, man, so we take him on a journey, and we're really talking to people out there in the audience, but we do it by playing games, singing and playing games, and bringing people up on stage and letting them play games. But near the end, there's a twist, and it kind of shifts.
Wow.
Because some people do feel like God is playing a game with their life.
My Lord.
Wow. We want to speak to them that life games are sometimes not fun anymore. And we're trying to,
all right
so,
now.
It's something now. So.
Well, we're excited about the tour, and your new album comes out. The last question we want to ask you is about your new album. It comes out tomorrow, Worship Journal. What can we expect from it? Did you work with anybody special, or what can we expect from it?
Well, no, I didn't work with anybody. I just, went out there with my little crew and we went to church and had, this was my first live album in 19 years. Wow. And I decided to go ahead and do it. It's actually my last CD under a contract. I'm not sure if I'll sign another one or do another one like that. I figure, from here on out, I might just put a song out here, put a song out there, or I might sign one. I don't know. But right now, this was the last one for this thing. And I wanted to go out with a bang. And it's really like, I was going to call it Brand New Hymns, because that's what I wanted it to feel like. These are the new hymns. These are the things where we all stand and we sing. Like back in the day, you guys too young to know about that. Back in the day,
I'm not.
Stand up. They say, stand up. We're going to turn your hymnal to page.
That's right.
Yeah, that's where I'm from. I'm from.
Right.
Amen.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not as young as you think.
Yeah, see, and so with that, we all get up and sing, I walk to the garden alone.
Oh, yeah.
Amen. They don't know about that. They Baptists. They don't know about that.
The lies.
Yeah, but just
that's what this was to me. It's like I want people to be able to sing. There's a few songs where I do a verse and then there's a chorus, but mostly from the beginning to end, it's everybody singing. The audience, the choir, the praise team, we're all just singing, So I think you'll love it. It has something on there for everybody. It has something up. And here's what I would ask you to do. Okay. I'm going to do something rap. When I told the label I was going to do it, I said, you don't want me to be an interview. I'm going to tell them to do this. We're losing in the gospel music industry because we're stuck to a structure now. It worked for a while, but we're stuck to a structure. Number one, we let singles sit on the shelf for a long periods of time. Mm-hmm. But what happens when there's a shooting in a city, but we're stuck on this one single, then we have to go to somebody else to talk about it. But I'm going to tell everybody this. Any song on there you want to play, just go get it and play it. If it speaks to what you need to do, like right now, I wrote a song on there called God is Our Refuge, which is my favorite song. God is our refuge and strength. It is a prayer for what we're going through. We're getting ready to go through an election that we're confused about. We're seeing all of this stuff. That young black men are getting shot. Police are getting shot. And what are we doing? Well, we got to realize that God is our refuge and strength, a present help in the time of trouble. Play that on one. Whatever you want to play, just play it. Well,
we've already been playing One Touch, so we definitely are going to follow that. Well, listen, we thank you so much for taking time. I know you're busy. You got your tour, you got your rehearsal, so I know I can't keep you. So I want to let you go. But before I let you go, we ask everybody that calls just 4 random questions, and you just got to say what comes to your mind. You don't overthink it. Just say it real quick. All
right.
Ready? Okay. So the first thing is, this is kind of a 2-part question. What's the favorite song that you've wrote, and what's your least favorite song that you don't like performing that you wrote anymore?
Man, the favorite song I probably wrote is Clean Heart.
Love that
That's
song.
probably my favorite heart. My favorite song I've ever wrote, if I had to pick one. And the least one that I don't do anymore, man, it's probably, I can't even tell you that one. That's something from Speak Those Things.
Or it's not a song that everybody loves that you're like, I'm just sick of doing. You don't have one of those?
Oh, no, I don't have that.
Okay.
Listen, if somebody wants to hear something from 20-something years ago, I'm singing that.
We actually just talked to J.J. Hairston a little earlier on the line, and we asked him the same thing. Who's your favorite new artist that's out in gospel now, if you had to pick?
I think naturally Tasha Cobbs is doing her thing, and Anthony Brown, man, is doing his thing. So I would say, man, those two people, man, are really, really coming up. I got a chance to speak with Anthony and talk to him a little while ago.
Wow. Okay. And the last two, and we know you've worked with a lot of people, but who's somebody in the industry that you haven't worked with that you'd still love to?
Oh, let me see here.
Or if you could produce somebody's album. Yeah.
I love Clark Sister still. I'm still an old school, person. And if I had to work, I want to work with Kim Burrell again, that's who my favorite is. I love Kim.
Yes.
She's amazing. And the last question to you is, who's maybe somebody in the industry that you consider close friend that maybe people would be surprised that you're cool with?
Me and John P. Keys pretty much roll pretty hard. Me and that dude, we still thugging it out.
Definitely.
So that's me and John is pretty much, rolling like that.
Well, we thank you so much, Fred, for taking time. Let everybody know one more time what your social media handles are and about your project, where they can get their project tomorrow.
Well, you can reach me on Facebook at Fred Hammond. You can reach me at Twitter at Real Fred Hammond. And you can reach me on Instagram at Real Fred H. Tomorrow you can get it everywhere. If you, what city is this?
This is in Rockford, outside of Chicago.
Okay, so now we will be in Maryville. Y'all see that, right?
For Festival of Praise, yes.
Yeah. We will be in Maryville, and if you buy tickets from Ticketmaster, I think this works up there. Today, if you go online right now, you get a price. The ticket inside the ticket, you get a CD. It's already put up.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
you get that there. You can go on iTunes and get it. And tonight, about 12 o'clock, that thing's gonna just download just like magic. And you can also, for those that still do physical hardware and physical CDs,
Yes.
Target, Walmart, and other places will have them. Amazon.com, all of that stuff will be available tomorrow, and I thank God for it.
Well, thank you so much for taking time to interview with us. We wish the best for the tour. We're going to check it out.
Yes.
We're already playing Father Jesus Spirit all the time, so we're going to definitely, like you said, play the rest of the songs.
Oh, Mr. Fred, you did me one favor though. Can I hear you just say, "Let me see you clap your hands"? I just want to hear you do that real
It's
quick.
too early for that.
No, well, thank you so much for taking time with us. You be blessed.
You.